right, and we are back for another episode. And today I'm joined by Mariya Stokes. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What's new? We haven't chatted in so long.
It's been forever. I feel like we get to catch up every year at the Country Music Alberta Awards. And usually when I'm in Edmonton, I stop by. And also when you're in Calgary, we try to hang. So it has been a little while because we haven't really been able to do that. Lots of stuff is new. I've been writing a lot of songs. I just released a new single. I have a stockpile of vintage clothing that I've been kind of collecting over the last year that I haven't been able to wear out yet. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, I've been, just trying to get into a routine and live life with no live shows for the last year. It's
For
been a little
sure.
nuts. What about you? How are you doing?
I'm not bad. I'm just working away, doing tons of interviews, some video projects, just trying to keep busy.
I feel like that's probably not a problem for you at all.
Yeah, it's been busy, which is good. I guess.
That's awesome.
But
I love
yeah.
that.
So first I want to congratulate you on hosting last year's Country Music of Alberta awards show.
Hey, thank you so much. That was a huge honor and a bit of a wild experience for sure.
How was it hosting that? How was it hosting the event, especially with all the restrictions in place?
It was really wonderful, actually. I was co-hosting with George Canyon, and it was a little bit strange simply because a lot of the hosting that I've been doing over the last year has been on a live stream. And so, live streaming, you can see comments and kind of react and interact with folks. But when you're doing a pre-taping, like we did for the CMAs, there's no feedback or live reaction. So you're kind of trusting your gut and just moving forward. And I feel like it was a little bit less nerve wracking because I was working with George. He is so professional and just such a veteran that I really leaned on him and learned a lot. I was definitely the noob in the room for that. And I learned a lot just by hanging out with him and being around him. So it was pretty awesome.
Awesome. And then you walked away with the Horizon Female Artist of the Year award.
Yeah, that was again a huge honor. Really cool. It was a crazy year in 2020, so it was really nice to be acknowledged. And again, we're all doing the best we can, and especially last year, we're so yeah. I just really appreciate the support from the association.
No, awesome. Congratulations on all that because I don't know if I ever got to congratulate you, to be honest.
I don't think we've talked since then. That's wild. Oh my gosh, so
I
weird.
know, right?
Maybe
So long.
via the DMs, but I don't know. That's just like it's different than hanging out in person, you know?
I agree. I agree. All right, so let's talk quarantine. I know it's been a crazy year. How's that been for you? What's been your biggest struggle through it all?
Oh my gosh. The biggest struggle for me actually has been figuring out how much I need live shows to kind of balance my brain. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how much playing out and connecting with people really was important to me. Trying to figure out how to get that dopamine rush and how to connect with folks, without doing what I do is, which is like meetings and shows and going to my friends' shows and being a music fan. That's so much of my socialization and so much of my life. And so being creative and figuring out other ways to get that connection and to hang with people, mostly virtually, has been a bit of a challenge for sure.
Okay. And what's one good thing you've taken from it?
You know what? I think I've really learned what self care is to me. I don't think I really understood. I don't think I slowed down enough to actually figure out what I needed in order to be the most effective and yeah, the most effective version of myself and the one that I like the best. And so I got a couple of routines in place that I'm really stoked on. And I learned a little bit how to kind of take some time just to slow down and chill out. And that's been really great.
Okay.
But chill out without being anxious about chilling out. I don't know. Do you get that? You know
Yeah.
when you're like, I'm gonna take time off, and then you're like, no, I can't. I can't take. I gotta do this. I gotta kind of be working all the time. And so learning how to not do that has been really an adventure, and I'm still working on it. Anyway,
I'm totally the guy who like I'll go sit on the couch and be like, I'm relaxing tonight. And then I'm like, I can't. I need to go edit this video or so. I can't sit down for a very long time. I gotta keep going.
totally. And the interesting thing about that, and I don't know if you like found this at all over the last year, but I found that when I'm always kind of working, I don't actually get things done very effectively, if that makes sense. Versus when I go a little bit for like an hour or two and then I take a little break and I
Huh?
give my brain a rest. As soon as I come back, I'm excited again. And like even disconnecting from social media, I've done that a lot over the last year, and it's been really nice because when I come back, I'm excited about it again, and I'm thankful that I took the time off. Have you tried that or found that at all?
I haven't tried the social media thing. I kind of wish I have. I know I took like kind of like a year off. I had surgery last year.
Right.
I had all that kind of stuff. So I guess that was kind of my year break. And then I came back with the online interviews. Um, but yeah, other than that, I haven't really taken a full like shut it down and not look at it. So it's something I do want to try because I know even getting into all this stuff, I mean, social media has been like nonstop. So I'm kind of like, okay, I need to not look at it because that's my problem. I'm always on the phone looking at stuff, right?
Yeah, well, and it's part of your job, and it's
Yeah.
that kind of strange line between, personal and your brand and your business. And sometimes I find taking a break once in a while really helps. Also, yeah, my brain just needs it once in a while just to take a step back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, try it. I'd be super curious to hear how you find it.
I should. I definitely should. Okay. Let's talk music now. Let's talk about your newest single, Break My Heart. Tell us
Yeah.
how it came together.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a song actually that was inspired by a bartender who looked like a 50s greaser that I had a crush on. I was sitting and it was so goofy. Instead of talking to this guy and being like, "Hey, I think you're cute," I just started kind of sitting and taking notes about his energy and his appearance as a songwriter. And or a creep, who knows, maybe a little bit of both. And Hurt So Good was playing on the radio in the bar, and I just had this kind of moment of inspiration hearing that song and seeing that fella, because I was thinking about how there are so many country songs about men approaching women respectfully, hopefully, in those settings. But there's not a ton, and I know there are a few, but there's not a ton about women doing the same thing. And I was like, that'd be such an interesting concept to explore. And so I took those lyrics actually to Aaron Pollock, and we co-wrote that one a few years ago. And it's actually been quite a journey to get it out. It went through a lot of evolutions in the production stage and was very, very different the first go round. The last version that we did when we were just the one that you hear now, actually, we re-recorded all the vocals and actually rejigged the whole thing a little bit just to make it serve the song a little bit more.
Interesting. And would you say that's like, I always ask this question to all the artists because I'm curious on the stories I'm gonna get. Would
Yeah.
you say that's kind of the weirdest, most awkward way you've ever come up with a song, or do you have something else?
Oh my goodness. It depends. Like some of them are different. That one was pretty strange just because I was straight up being a creep. Like, just straight up creeping. And also, I didn't actually know this human. I just was inspired by my interpretation of who I thought they were, which I think definitely can be a little bit creepy. That one was strange. The other one that was maybe weird was Christmas, Arizona, my, I believe, second single. That one was really strange because it's about, I don't know if the viewers at home are familiar, but it's about a woman who drives across America to go stop a wedding because she had a one night stand with a dude and found out he was getting married on the internet and is going to stop the wedding. So that one's a little strange. And it was actually inspired by my neighbor back down in Stavely, Alberta. It's a tiny little town about an hour south of Calgary. My neighbor was actually buying an old truck from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And that's how that entire story started, was that one line. I bought an old truck from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And that ended up kind of evolving. But yeah, I don't know. Songs are strange. Like, I feel like as songwriters, we almost can't take credit for them. We just grab the ideas and are like, okay, you want to be about an affair? We can do that. How did this truck turn into an affair? I don't understand, but that's just kind of how it went.
That's what I'm always curious on, like, because you have just weird things. You could be just doing something in the moment, and you're just like, that's a song. But it could be just a weird situation, right?
Yeah. Well, do you ever have you ever written songs, Cody?
I've never written songs. I know I play a little guitar at home by myself, but never a full song.
Have you ever tried to write any song ideas down? Because I feel like you've talked to enough people that you probably, I don't know, you probably have heard some good ones.
I've had a couple ideas.
Man, you should do that. You should write them down and then see if you can come up with some tunes.
I
Because
sh-
it's weird how they come out.
I should. Speaking of songwriting, what's your favorite thing about co-writing?
Oh my gosh, you want to know? I'm going to be really honest here. Over the past year, my favorite thing about co-writing is that it's all via Zoom, so I don't have to put pants on. I
Yeah,
get to just co-write in my pajamas. I can wake up, roll out of bed, grab a coffee, and then go right into co-writing. I really love that. That's just the virtual stuff. And outside of that, I really love co-writing because I know that my brain is capable and good at a few things. And sometimes those things can also be limiting because they're exactly where I go to. And we all kind of fall into habits. I fall into melodic ruts once in a while. Sometimes I fall into lyrical ruts even. And so it's really great when I'm co-writing because I have people with different skill sets and different brains and different ideas than me. So I can show up sometimes with a song and I'm like, I know this is close. Like I have, half of it done. I'm feeling really great, but I don't know how to land this hook or I don't know if this melody is right. And with the right co-writer, they come in and it takes 2 seconds and they see the problem and they fix it. Or they come up with a melody that you would never have thought of in a million years because their influences are different than yours. And also, I'm just really good friends with a lot of my co-writers, so it's a good hang. I
yeah,
get to just hang with my pals and make cool stuff. So
yeah. I see you guys posting all the time, co-writing online, so it's great to see. I love it, and I agree. The hang is a big thing.
that's half of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I feel like I'm more likely to do weird stuff and co-writes and get more interesting things if I trust the person that I'm in the room with. So.
awesome. All right. Okay, so kind of since I've kind of come into the scene watching your career, I think you've had some great success. What's been the best advice you've been given in your career so far?
Oh, that's a tough one. I've been given some pretty great advice. One of the best pieces of advice that I've ever gotten is to really focus on the story and what you're trying to say. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just stay in your own lane and focus on your story and your truth and lean into that weird stuff about you that's a little bit different, which is a little tough for me and is something that I've definitely worked on. But yeah, I think once someone actually gave me permission and then I gave myself permission just to be a freaking weirdo and then stuff started happening and that was kind of cool. So
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. Oh, and then one more thing. Sorry, I always have to drop this one. The other one is actually a guitar player friend of mine gave me a piece of advice that I also live by. Took me a hot sec to think of it. Uh, Number one is show up on time,
Yep.
look as good as you can, and don't suck. That's it.
Okay.
Show up on time, look as good as you can, and don't suck. And also, one of the other ones was like, be nice. But yeah, those ones are good too. I
So
like to look as good as you can because sometimes, like, you just got to lean into whatever that, that looks like for you that day. Anyway,
as good
side
as
note.
it's getting today.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So there are two pieces of advice, I guess. Be a weirdo, and also those three things. Just don't suck, be nice, show up on time, look as good as you can.
No beating around the bush on that one.
It's not very cerebral. It's just some common sense. But man, sometimes I need to be reminded of those common sense
That-
things. It never
that-
hurts.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so with the province opening up this summer, hopefully it stays opened up. What's next for you? We have shows planned already, or
I have a few offers. I cannot speak to anything that's confirmed yet because none of them have been announced. But yes, if the restrictions continue to ease and things continue to open up, there definitely will be some shows this summer. I haven't announced anything yet, but they'll be all over my socials and my website as well. So that's
perfect,
going to be very exciting.
perfect. And what's one venue or festival that you've always dreamed of playing?
I think. Oh, are we talking Canada or are we talking North America?
Anywhere
Uh,
you have a
feel like Stagecoach would be super cool. I saw Brandy Carlisle do a performance there, and that was pretty unreal. But I mean, Canada, there are so many that I want to play. Rock and River Fest was supposed to happen in 2019, and then obviously, or sorry, 2020, and then obviously everything happened. So I definitely want to make sure that I get there. I'd love to check out Boots and Hearts and maybe, Manitoulin Country Fest. There's so many cool ones, especially in Canada, that I'd love to play.
For sure. And the ones you have played, what's been your favorite one?
Calgary Stampede is always just such an absolute blast. I backed up Ryan Lindsay at Nashville North 2 years ago. That was so fun. That band was so rocking, and Ryan's really fabulous. And then I played Coke Stage there. That was pretty wicked as well. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite festivals across Canada for sure.
It's probably one of my favorites as well. It's
Awesome.
is it happening this year for sure? Like, do we know?
We don't know. So I think it was announced that it's supposed to, but the thing is like the restrictions have changed so much that I'm definitely hoping, but we just never know. Things have changed so quickly in the last year that I'm just going to try to roll with the punches and not get my hopes up too much.
I agree. I'm kind of like, do I need to take this week off or what do I need to do here?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know if we're going to really know if it's happening till a couple days before. We're
Like
going to.
last minute. Yeah,
I'm sure that there will be some stuff that will come through and people will, there'll be lots of rumors, but we just won't know until they get approval. So,
for sure. Okay. Last thing, we're talking about social media. Tell everyone where they can find you for those who don't know yet.
yeah, my name's spelt a little bit strange. It's Mariya Stokes. So Mariya Stokes. And I'm on all the social platforms, Instagram, Twitter. I've just been doing the TikTok thing a little bit. That's been pretty fun and a little bit wild. Facebook, and then my website as well. Same thing, www.mariyastokes.com. So, and I love new friends. So send me messages and we can hang out via the internet, just like I've been doing for the past year with everybody.
Perfect. All right, guys, go grab Mariya Stokes' new single, Break My Heart. And Mariya, thank you so much for hopping on.
Cody, thank you for having me today. As always, it's always a blast and a pleasure to hang out with you, man.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can hang out in person soon.
Heck yeah.
All right. And yeah, take care. We'll talk
You
soon.
too, man.
All right.